Shalom, shalom. Everybody finding things. Sean, just last start. All right. So today, first of all, shalom to come, everybody. I shall shabbat. Happy that y'all happy here. Everybody can hear me good, huh? No, not a yellow too. We don't got no mic. We talk loud. All right. You got a mic over here. Yeah.
You don't have a mic on your hand?
I don't see one. Oh, is this one right here?
Yeah.
Yep. Speak.
Yeah.
Speak on.
Testing. Shalom.
Yeah. We already live. Shalom. Y'all can hear me? Okay, call along, yeah. All right, so today we're gonna be going into the Council of Jerusalem. The Council of Jerusalem. Everybody heard about the Council of Jerusalem? That's a no. Everybody pay attention, right? We get into the Council of Jerusalem. What we're gonna do, we're gonna get into Acts 15. The Council of Jerusalem is very important. Very important. When we look in Paul's letters, we see the majority of his letters is actually dealing with this, right? One of the main problems that Paul was dealing with was circumcision. People telling people that they couldn't get saved unless they were circumcised. That was a whole issue, and this is why Paul wrote a lot of his letters. So we actually gonna go into, matter of fact, let's start. Let's get Galatians real quick. We're gonna get the book of Galatians, and we're gonna start from the top 1 and 1. Who gonna read for me?
I'm about to read. Reading from book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 1. Paul, an apostle, not of men, neither by man, but by Yahushua HaMashiach, and Yahweh the other one who raised him from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And all the brethren which are with me unto the churches of Galatia. Grace be to you, and peace from Yahweh the other one, and from the other one, Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right.
Which, Chalaq,
verse
who gave
4.
himself for our sins, that he might deliver us from this present evil world.
So we see Paul addressing all the churches in Galatia. Galatia was a big region with a lot of churches. When you look in Acts 13, which we're going to touch on, Acts 13, Acts 14, majority of those places was in Galatia. Ooh, I'll switch. Y'all can hear me, Con? Con. All right, go ahead. Continue, yeah.
Verse 5. To whom be glory forever and ever. Amen.
Uh-huh.
Verse 6. I marvel that we are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Yahushua unto another gospel.
So what we seeing here, Paul did a lot of teaching in all through Galatia. He let him know what it was that Yahushua came to do. But he like, it's crazy to me how we see the same thing happening. How a lot of our brothers come in here and they know this truth. You see how they break it down, like they know it. But then all of a sudden they just go back to their vomit. They change. You feel what I'm saying? This is the same thing that Paul is starting to see. But he's seeing more so there was a doctrine that crept in the church that he had to deal with, right? Read on.
Galatians 1 and 2, right?
We have verse 6. Chapter 1, verse 6.
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Hamashiach.
Called you
Unto-
unto the grace of Hamashiach. We all know what Hamashiach came to do for us, right? We know what his death did for us. Do we know what Christ's death did for us? Yeah, what did it do for us? Gave us grace. To what extent? Here, matter of fact, before we even go on, so I can answer this, we're gonna get Acts real quick. Acts chapter 13. We're gonna come right back to Galatians though. Acts chapter 13. And we're gonna start at verse we'll start at verse 38.
Reading out the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 38. Be it known unto you, therefore, men and brethren.
This is Paul teaching right here. This is Paul teaching in Galatia. This was his message every time he went everywhere. This was his message, right? Read.
That through this man is preached unto you the forgiveness of sins.
The forgiveness of sins, right? Read on.
And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which ye could not be justified by the law of Moses.
We all understand how powerful that is, right? Because is there any sacrifice for breaking the Sabbath day? La. There's no sacrifice for adultery. No sacrifice for idolatry. No sacrifice for if you wasn't circumcised the 8th day, because keep in mind that was the law. You feel what I'm saying? This is the main thing that Paul was dealing with. You got all these people that was growing up in Galatia, all these different places that wasn't in Israel, following these wicked ways of the heathen. In idolatry, they wasn't circumcised the 8th day. They grew up not keeping the Sabbath day. He had to let them know, like, this is why Yahushua died, to bring you back. You feel what I'm saying? It's making sense so far, everybody? Read that again, 39.
And by him all that believe are justified from all things.
We are justified from all things. How many of us came into this truth? We was adulterers, fornicators, idolaters. Feel what I'm saying? There is no sacrifice for that when it comes to the law. But Yahushua's death saved us from that and brought us back. This is the same. This is what Paul kept bringing to his churches. This is what he was, pounding in their heads, right? So let's go back to Galatians, and let's go real quick. We're gonna jump to Galatians chapter 3, and we're gonna start at verse 1.
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 1.
Oh,
foolish Galatians, who have bewitched you?
Who have bewitched you? Somebody came into the area, came into the churches, and bewitched them, having them thinking that what they was doing was wrong. You gonna say something?
Bewitched. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they bewitched them, right? So let's keep on reading.
Who have bewitched you that ye should not obey the truth, before whose eyes Hamashiach Yahushua had been evidently set forth.
Evidently set forth, because he was going throughout Galatia for years, teaching the word. Evidently set forth. But these people lost it when one doctrine came in there, right? Read on.
Have been evidently set forth, crucified among you. This only what I learn of you. Receive ye the spirits by the work of the law.
Have you received the spirits by the work of the law? Or what? Read on.
Or by the hearing of faith.
Or by the hearing of faith. We got to think about this. Have we received the spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Did we start off in this truth, keeping the law? We heard this truth we entered by the faith. You feel what I'm saying? And then we came into the law, right? These people had heard it, came in through the faith, and wound up just putting their faith all in the law instead of the faith that they learned from. That's making sense. And we're going to get all that, right? We're going to drop that part. Let's go to Galatians 2. Because right now, from Galatians 1 to Galatians 2, Paul was basically breaking down his history and coming into this truth, right? Read Galatians 2. from the top.
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 1. Then, 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, and took Titus with me also. And I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that the good news which I preach among the Gentiles.
And we all know who these Gentiles are here, right? Real quick, if somebody can pull up Galatia for me in the Jewish Encyclopedia, Babu Kashal. Y'all could Google that, and we're gonna read that. Somebody grab Galatia and the Jewish Encyclopedia, and what else we'll grab? We could grab Hellenism also in the Jewish Encyclopedia, right? So go back up and read that again.
Verse 2. And I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that the good news which I preach among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation.
Right, going to the 12, right? Read.
Lest by any means I should run or had run in vain.
So Paul made sure that he went to the elders so that he know that he wasn't running in vain. Paul wasn't doing his own thing. A lot of Christians, I just had a conversation with a Christian the other day. They made it seem like Paul had all the revelations. He was just top of everything. Nobody knew nothing without Paul. Paul let it be known, like he made sure he ran to the elders to make sure he wasn't messing up. You feel what I'm saying? Read on. Somebody grab that for me. Anybody found it? You found it? Khan, you can read it for me.
Galatia was inland district.
Can't hold on real quick. Can everybody hear?
Inland district, Asia Minor,
Right.
modern day Turkey.
Right.
That became a Roman province in 25 BCE. It was notable for having a Jewish population with evidence including an edict of Augustus in Sarai.
So they knew that there was a large. When we look at the Jewish, when it says Jewish population, this is talking about the Israelites that actually kept the law, and that was teaching the law, right? We're gonna understand this, and we're gonna show you something else that proves that, right? But let's keep on reading.
Verse 3.
Nah, not you, Saladonia, Babu Kasha. Yeah, keep reading.
From the Jewish presence, evidence of Jews is likely linked to Jewish military colonies established by Antiochus III.
Antiochus III, also known as Antiochus the Great. That was the grandfather of Antiochus Epiphanes, right? This is very important history because in Josephus, it lets you know that Antiochus the Great moved out like over 2,000 families out of Israel all through Asia Minor. You feel what I'm saying? But keep on, and they all was favorable to the Greek cause, right? But let's keep on reading.
Antiochus III in neighboring Phrygia and Lydia in the late 3rd century BCE.
Right.
The regional context.
Right.
The area was occupied by the Gauls themselves. In 278 BCE. The geographical scope. The province includes parts of Phrygia, Pisidia, and Lycaonia.
And when y'all get a chance, y'all could look at these maps, and it'll help y'all understand where Paul was going to, right, and what was going on. Read on.
I guess Rabbi Akiva, known for his travels, mentioned Galilea in his records. New Testament addressed the epistle to the Galatian communities in that region.
Right, keep on. That's all they had on there. That's in the Jewish Encyclopedia.
Yeah. They just had a portrait.
Okay. There's a specific spot that I want you to get to. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
When that say inland district, Asia Minor.
Right.
Start out with that.
Yeah, it starts out with that. Okay, so I pulled it up right here, right? And I'm gonna start with, because it said all that she just read.
I think where it says right at 77 are out back.
77, yeah. Yeah, go down to where you see a teacher and all that, and it says the chief proof. You see that? Yeah, read that for me. You could read that for me, out.
The chief, however,
Everybody can hear him, Con. Uh-huh.
the chief proof, however, of the existence of Jews in Galatia
Peep this, what they say here. The chief proof, the main proof that they have that there was Jews in Galatia is what?
is the fact that St. Paul sent thither a general epistle known as the Epistle of the Galatians.
That's their chief proof that there was Jews in Galatia. What does that mean? Paul only went where the Jews was at. Paul was only writing to where the Jews was at. He wasn't writing nowhere else. They main proof they know that Jews was there because Paul actually wrote there. Feel what I'm saying? Read on.
There is a strong disagreement among scholars as regards that part of Galatian where these correspondents of St. Paul lived.
Mm-hmm.
The older opinion was that they were to be found in the northern city of Galatia.
Right.
But recent scholars, especially Professor Ramsey, hold that they lived in cities of the south of Galatia.
The south of Galatia. Ramses did a lot of work, a lot of history, right? Biblical history. And when you look up the maps, it agrees with that, right? But read on.
Which are actually mentioned in the Acts of the Apostles.
All those southern cities are the ones that's mentioned in the Acts of the Apostles. That's where the Jews was at. Now, real quick, grab me Greece. Greece in the same thing in the Jewish encyclopedia. Baba Kushal. We're going to get this understanding. Because every time they say Jew, they only talking about the ones that actually kept the law. The ones that actually wasn't following the law, we really became Greeks. We really became Greeks. And it's the reason why you hear Paul talk about Jew or Greek, because we really literally became Greeks. Same way, as soon as somebody take their test and become a U.S. citizen, they American now.
Right.
Chinese is American now, African American now. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm an American citizen. It was the same exact thing.
Also known as Grecians.
Right. This is no difference. You got it out? You got it? You got it? Okay.
Greece, country of southeastern Europe.
Uh-huh.
The number of Jews is not more than 9,000.
The number of Jews is no more than 9,000, right? Pay attention to the words that they use, right?
Distributed as follows.
Uh-huh.
Corfu, 3,500.
Uh-huh.
Zante, 175.
Uh-huh.
On the island of Yoruba.
Uh-huh.
Negro Pond.
Negro Pond. I always bring that out. Negro Pond, right?
200.
Uh-huh.
Wallow, 1,100.
Uh-huh.
Larissa, 2,500.
Uh-huh.
Tricana, 1,000.
Right?
Arta, 300.
Uh-huh.
Athens, 300. Besides these Jews of Greece,
Besides these Jews of Greece proper, but
the subject of this article,
all the ones that they talking about Jews in that article, or the ones that actually kept the law, right? Or tried to keep the law, kept their history, called themselves Jews, right? But keep on.
there is also a Jewish population, about 4,000 in Janina.
Uh-huh.
And Provenza and Epirus.
Uh-huh.
These people are really Greeks.
These people are what?
Greeks.
Really Greeks. Y'all hear this? They know this. These people are really Greeks. Why? For a very remote period. Y'all got to keep in mind, We was being Hellenized over 100 years. We was being hell by the time Paul came to the scene, we was being Hellenized over 100 years. I want to say about 140 some years. You feel what I'm saying?
And speak only the Greek language.
They speak only the Greek language. They was there for a remote period of time, only spoke the Greek language and what?
The term Greek Jews might also be made to include the Jews of the island of Crete.
Right. So we keep all that in mind when y'all see Gentile and Greek and all that stuff when Paul is speaking. It was prophesied that it was going to be like that. You don't got to read no more on that. Somebody grab me Ezekiel real quick, and we're going to come right back to Galatia. But give me Ezekiel chapter, I want to say 11. Give me a second. Yeah, give me Ezekiel chapter 11, and we're going to start at verse 14. You got it? You call and read it.
11 and verse
14.
Reading out the book of Ezekiel.
Keep in mind, this is Ezekiel. This is way before the Hellenization of Israel. This is a future prophecy, basically, right? But read on.
Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 14. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man.
Son of man, right? Read.
Thy brethren.
Thy brethren. Who is Ezekiel's brethren? Israel, right? Thy brethren, right? Read.
Even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred.
The men of thy kindred. That means his blood relatives. You feel what I'm saying? His bloodline. Thy kindred, what?
And all the house of Israel holy.
All the house of Israel, right? Read.
Are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get you far from the Most High. Unto us is this land given
Go ahead, read on.
Given in possession.
This been prophesied about that it's going to happen. That the people of Judea is going to look at the other Israelites like, y'all not one of us. Y'all grew up speaking Greek. Y'all wasn't circumcised the 8th day. According to the law, what happens if you're not circumcised the 8th day? Keep that in mind. You cut off from your people. So they really looking at him like, yo, y'all not one of us. And this was going on. This is why they was talking the way they was talking to them. You feel what I'm saying? This is why they treated in the way they treated them. This is why they called Gentiles, why they called Greeks, and so on and so forth. This is all making sense to everybody. Right? Let's go back to Galatia real quick. Galatians. We're going to read chapter 2.
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 2. And I went up by
Actually,
Revelation.
start at 1 again.
Chapter 2, verse 1. Then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, and took Titus with me also. And I went up by revelation and communicated unto them that the good news which I preach among the Gentiles.
These Gentiles are the Israelites. These is Israelite Gentiles that he's dealing with. You feel what I'm saying? Read on.
But privately to them which were of reputation.
He went to the heads of the church. John, James, Peter. Right? Read on.
Lest by any means I should run or have run in vain.
Paul wanted to make sure he was doing the right thing. Because there was a doctrine that was creeping around the area, and he was like, hold on, nah, this ain't right. Him and Barnabas like, nah, this ain't right. And they went and made sure, like, hold on, are we tripping? You feel what I'm saying? And they went back to Jerusalem, right, Reed?
But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised.
Being a Greek, because he grew up in a Greek way, Hellenized, was compelled to be circumcised. We see what the argument was, right? Circumcision. A lot of people, and the reason why I came to Galatia, because Galatians, this is one of the main places they go to try to say the law is done away with. But all the stuff that Paul was talking about was really, he was really dealing with the circumcision. And he's not saying don't get circumcised. He's just saying, yo, don't base your salvation off of that. You feel what I'm saying? This is what we're gonna get into, right? So let's get you could drop that. Let's get to Acts. Let's go to Acts 14. Acts chapter 14, and we'll start at verse. Again, if y'all go up, right? Because we're not going to go through all that right now, but if y'all go up like halfway through chapter 13, that's when he gets into Galatia, and you're seeing all the cities that he's hitting in Galatia, right? So we're going to do Acts 14, and and we'll start at verse. We're gonna start towards the end. We're gonna start at verse. Here, let's start at 23.
Reading.
Actually, start at 19. Start at 19.
Reading at the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 19.
14, verse 19.
Acts, chapter 14, verse 19. And there came thither certain Jews from Antioch and Iconium, who persuaded the people, and having stoned Paul, drew him out to the city, supposing he had been dead.
Right, they stoned Paul. Like Paul was really, that brother was going through it, but he did a lot for this work. And this is how he said, how many of y'all resisted to blood? We're gonna have to get to that point. We want to keep this in mind. We're gonna get to that point where we're gonna have to resist the blood. Things like this gonna happen. They're gonna start shooting at us. You feel what I'm saying? Trying to stone us like they did Paul. You feel what I'm saying? All this stuff is gonna happen. We gotta be prepared. Have that faith in the Most High, right? So they did him bad because they thought he was dead. Imagine how bad they stoned him, right? Thinking he's dead, right? Read verse 20.
Howbeit, as the disciples stood round about him, he rose up and came to the city. And the next day he departed with Barnabas to Derbe.
Right. All these places that he was going was in Galatia right here. But they stoned him bad. They thought he was dead and he wound up getting up. It's a possibility. I'm not going to say he was, but it's possible he was dead and Most High just raised him up. It's possible. Right? But let's read on.
Verse 21. And when they had preached the gospel to that city.
So he out there, he got stoned. He out cold leaking. Then he get up and leave out and teaching already. Like nothing, that's not stopping nothing. This is how we got to be. A lot of people let cold stop them. They let colds, they let their family stop them from doing this work. We can't be like that. We got to make sure we put the kingdom first. Right? But read on.
And had taught many. They returned again to Lystra and to Iconium.
Right? Same, all these in Galatia. Right? Read on.
And Antioch.
In Galatia. Right? Read.
Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. And that we must do much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Keep that in mind. Through much tribulation shall we enter the kingdom of the Most High. This ain't going to be a cakewalk. If this is easy, like you doing something wrong, so it's not right. You feel what I'm saying? It's not going to be a cakewalk, right? We got to keep this in mind. But let's keep on.
And when they had ordained them elders in every church and had prayed with fasting, they commanded them to the Most High on whom they believed. And after they had passed through Pisidia,
which you read earlier, right? Read.
They came to Pamphylia. And when they had preached the word in Perga, they went there in Italia. And then sailed to Antioch, from whence they had been recommended to the grace of the Most High.
Right.
For the work which they fulfilled.
For the work which they fulfill, right? Putting it in. Right. But let's read on.
And when they were come and had gathered the church together, they rehearsed all that the Most High had done with them, and how he had opened the doors of faith unto the Gentiles.
These Gentiles again, these Gentiles being Israelite Gentiles. I'm gonna actually grab something else real quick. I don't have none of my books with me, which is I usually get into some good books with these, but there's a book I'm gonna actually try to pull up real quick. It's called Paul and the Heart Set Free. Right? Let me see if I can find this PDF. Let's see. Paul, the apostle of F.F. Bruce, Paul, apostle of the heart set free. Yeah. Apostle of the heart set free, right? I'm going to go, I believe it's page either 42 or 46. This is a real good book. It goes deep into the history of what was going on in all these places that Paul went to. A lot of witchcraft and so on and so forth. And they got a lot of a lot of eyewitnesses that speaks on these things, right? Yeah. This is from F.F. Bruce. It's a Paul, the apostle of the heart set free. F. Bruce, Paul of the apostle of the heart set free. And I'm gonna read real quick out of this is in here. It's not saying in here. Okay, yeah. So I'm in chapter 5, a Hebrew born of Hebrews, and I will be at give me a quick second. I'm trying to find a spot. My fault, y'all. So I'm looking, I believe it's I'm gonna be at page my fault, y'all. I'm trying to find the right spot. Huh? You said don't mess it up. I'm trying. Where is it at? There's a spot. If you look in there, it says, "Are they Hebrews?" So where is it at? I'm trying to skip through all this, make it quick. All right, I'm having a little issue with finding it. If somebody could find it, go in there, go a page from chapter 5, and look where it says Hebrews, so am I, and it breaks it down. And when y'all get it, just let me know. We're gonna keep on going from here though. Right? So but you still reading though, right?
Go on.
So anybody look through there and find it for me, Baba Gashah.
Right. I was up to verse 22.
Use that yeah. Verse 22.
Reading out the book.
Actually, no, you passed that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Acts chapter 14, verse 25. And when they had preached the word, 28. Oh, yeah. Sorry. And there they abode long time with the disciples.
Right. All right. Keep on.
Galatians chapter 15, verse 1.
So we see where Paul was at, right? We see where Paul was at, what he was doing, right? Read on.
And certain men which came down from Judea.
This is where the problems really start, right? Certain men came down from Judea and what?
Taught the brethren and said, except you be circumcised after the manner of Moses, you cannot be saved.
This is the problem. This is what Paul was dealing with. This was the issue, not the law itself. The problem was people saying, yo, you can't be saved if you wasn't circumcised as the manner of Moses. What's the manner of Moses? The 8th day. Huh? Yeah, but when are you supposed to get circumcised? The 8th day. Now he's around a whole bunch of people that was considered Greeks. They grew up Greeks. They wasn't circumcised. The majority of them. So it's over for them. They can't do nothing. You feel what I'm saying? This is the issue. So if you hear, oh, I can't get saved, I'm gonna go right back to what I was doing before. At least I'm gonna have fun. You feel what I'm saying? This is the problem. Let's hold that. Let's grab Leviticus chapter 12. Right. Grown men. Yeah, grown men. Like it's too late for them. I mean, right? Let's grab Leviticus 12. We're gonna get the Lord at. What's the manner of Moses? Come.
Leviticus chapter 12.
You're going to start from the top.
Verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a man child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean.
Right.
And in the 8th day, the flesh of the foreskin shall be circumcised.
And on the 8th day, by law, the flesh of that foreskin shall be circumcised. Right? Read on.
And she shall then continue in the blood of a purifying 3 and 30 days. She shall touch no hollow thing,
right?
Nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
Right, read on.
But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks.
Right, read.
As in a separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days.
Right, keep on.
And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled for a son,
and when her days are for purifying is fulfilled for a son, right? Read.
Or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering.
So they supposed to give sacrifices along with that, right? Can you sacrifice outside of Jerusalem? You need that temple, right? So all this, if they didn't have the getting circumcised the 8th day or bringing up that sacrifice, it's over for them. You feel what I'm saying? This was the problem that they was dealing with. This is why Paul had to keep telling them, like, yo, you don't, it's by the spirit, not the flesh. We still got to get circumcised. That's our custom. But, we're not shutting up the kingdom to our people, right? Let's drop that. Let's get on Genesis chapter 17. Genesis chapter 17.
We're reading at the book of Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. No?
We're gonna start at verse 1. We're gonna try to speed through this. Chalaq, I'm not gonna take too much of your time. But we're gonna read through this, right?
Reading out the book of Genesis chapter 17.
I know they want to get the camp
1.
too, but come on.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Most High appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power.
Right.
Walk before me and be thou perfect.
And
I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
Right? He's going to multiply Abraham's seed, right? Read on.
And Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
A father of many nations, right? We're going to jump down real quick and come right back up to that, right? Because when he say a father of many nations, what you going to say? Are they Hebrews, so am I? Are they Hebrews, so am I, right? Oh, no, he says, I think it says, are they Hebrews, so am I? But he says, lets you know that, he says that the Hellenistes and was Israelites also in there, right? But we're going to jump down to verse 15 real quick.
Reading out the book of Genesis.
So when he says he's a father of many nations, this is only talking about Israel. And we're going to prove this right here in the same chapter. Genesis chapter 17. And we're going to read verse 15 real quick.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said unto Abram, As of Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be.
Right.
And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations.
How many children did Sarah have? 1. We know Esau don't count. You feel what I'm saying? That's only talking about Israel. So these many nations is Israel. Israel became many nations. When he talking to Abraham, talking about him being the father of many nations, he's talking about Israel. Nobody else count. Ishmael do not count. You feel what I'm saying? Midian don't count. None of these people count. Right? Let's go back up though. Right? Let's go back up to where you was at before. Did you read that up? Finish that verse up.
And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarah, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarah, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her and she shall be a mother of nations.
Uh-huh.
Kings of people shall be of her.
Kings of people shall be of her. Right? It's only talking about Israel. Israel is the only people that count in the Most High's eyes. Most High told Abraham, he said, grab your son, your only son. Ishmael was already older. He didn't give nothing about, you know what I mean? He ain't worth 2 cents. You feel what I'm saying? But let's go back up. Genesis chapter 17. And read go to verse 5.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abraham,
Uh-huh.
but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
Right.
And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Uh-huh.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
Right, to Abraham and his seed. What's up, Bob? Huh? What you got?
The book of Psalms, chapter 89, verse 34. My covenant will I, the Most High, not break, nor alter the things which are gone out of my lips.
Right. His covenant he would not break. He said he made this covenant with Abraham and his seed. Where everybody else coming at? How everybody else trying to get part of this? You feel what I'm saying? They all want to take what's ours, right? But let's keep on reading out.
Verse 5, people will use verse 5 to say the seed.
Yeah.
Abraham had many sons.
Yeah. I know that's why we jumped down. Let it be known, because Sarah didn't. Yeah, Sarah did it. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, let's read on.
Verse 8. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger.
Uh-huh.
All the land of Canaan for everlasting possession, and I will be their power.
Right.
And the power said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
Right, read on.
This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Every man child shall be circumcised. Right, let's keep on reading.
Verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
Uh-huh.
And he that is 8 days old
that is 8 days old. That's the key. He that is 8 days old. He set this covenant up. Most High not breaking this covenant. He that is 8 days old shall what?
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you.
Uh-huh.
Every man child in your generation, he that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
Right, read on. So we had our slaves had to be circumcised also, right? But read on.
He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised.
Must needs be circumcised. We have to do that. You want to say something? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's going into the slaves though. Slaves. Boy, when it says bought with money and all that, yeah, those are your slaves. Anybody of your household, because keep in mind, Abraham circumcised his whole household, all his servants, all his slaves. Right? Right. But read on.
He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised.
So those that's not circumcised the 8th day, what?
That soul shall be cut off from his people.
So can we really blame the people of Judea for treating the Israelites the way they did? Born outside? Knowing this, that's not our people. That's not Israel no more. You a Greek. You feel what I'm saying? This is what was going on though. But Yahweh Shah, his death brought us back. His death, his sacrifice was to cover those that the Lord didn't cover, the sins that the Lord didn't cover, and brought us back, right? That's why in Romans 11, he talk about he made us all sinful so that he could bring us all back together. Making sense? So let's get back to Galatians, right? Galatians 15. I mean Acts 15, Chalaq. Acts 15. And read verse 1 again.
Reading out the book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 1. And certain men which came down from Judea taught the brethren, and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved.
So all these people, like, it's nothing we could do. It's over for us. We might as well go back to worshiping whoever we was worshiping, going to those temple harlots and so on and so forth, right?
Oh.
Go back to the Greek way of life, right? But read on.
When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain others of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question.
And this is exactly what they did. What we read in Galatians 2, they made sure that their run wasn't in vain. They went back to the elders and make sure they was doing the right thing. Like, hold on, this don't sound right. Right? Let's read on.
And being brought on their way by the church.
And being brought on the way by the church. When we go right here, what we're reading about is called the Council of Jerusalem. This was around between 48 BC and 48 BC and 50 BC. Right? This was a very important council. Because this is why a lot of Paul's letters went out. Part of it. Right? Let's read on.
And being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles. And they caused great joy unto all the brethren.
Right? Caused great joy unto all the brethren. When they see Israelites coming back, they don't care about the other nations. You see, they had a hard time caring about their own people. So how are they going to be joyful about the other nations? That don't even make sense. Right? But let's read on.
And when they were come to Jerusalem, they were received of the church and of the apostles and elders. And they declared all things that the Most High had done with them.
Right?
But they rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses.
Yeah, so it was important for them to get circumcised. They was basically pushing them right away. So these Pharisees right here wasn't saying, oh, they couldn't be saved because they wasn't circumcised the 8th day, but they got to get circumcised right now. Say that again. 48 BC and 50 BC. Yes. Right? I mean, 40 AD, my fault. 48 AD and 50 AD, my fault. Right? But yeah, keep on reading.
And the apostles and elders came together to consider of this matter. And when they had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago the Most High made choice among us, that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the good news and believe.
Then he's talking about what he did with Cornelius, right? Let's read on.
And when the Most High, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Spirit, even as he did unto us.
Right.
And put no difference between us and them.
Right. There's no difference between our brothers that grew up in a Gentile way of life and us. This is what he's saying. Right. Read on.
And put no difference between us and them, purifying their heart by faith. Now, therefore, why tempt ye the Most High to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear?
Now, this is one of those places the Christians like to go to say that the law is done away with, like the laws of the yoke. So what does this actually mean? I want somebody to answer this. What does this actually mean? What it says right here, right? He says, verse 10, Now, therefore, why tempt ye God to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? What does that mean? Y'all got to keep in mind the conversation. Huh? The yoke is not the law. Making it difficult, but how wasn't they able to bear it? How was they not? Peter said, them nor their fathers was able to bear that. They put in a yoke that neither him or his forefathers was able to bear. What would be that yoke? Not sin. Nah, we got to keep in mind what we was talking about this whole time. The circumcision. They was all circumcised the 8th day. Their forefathers were circumcised the 8th day. You telling a grown man to get circumcised. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all see what we getting at? Men don't want to get circumcised now. Imagine back then. And they putting you to sleep now. What's up?
Uncircumcised. I think that has a lot to do with what they doing out in the streets of the world.
Well, these brothers was coming back into the word, but they was uncircumcised because they grew up as Gentiles. You feel what I'm saying? So now that you had certain people that was going over there saying, yo, if they wasn't circumcised the 8th day, they're not going to be saved. As soon as Paul and Barnabas get over here, they having a council, and then you got the Pharisees like, all right, listen, they could get saved, but they're gonna have to get circumcised right now. Like, you gotta bid them get circumcised and keep the law. You feel what I'm saying? Like forcing everything on them right away. I done seen videos where people say, yo, you got to get circumcised, and people answer, oh, I'm a grown man. Like, you know how much that's gonna hurt? They scared to do it now. And you got all this medical marvels and all that painkillers, and they putting you to sleep and all these things, and they scared to do it now. Imagine them doing it back then with a knife. You feel what I'm saying? That's that yoke. That's that yoke that they talking about, right? It's making sense. Picture getting painted, right? Let's keep on reading.
Verse 11.
Actually, hold on real quick. Just to, let's get Philippians chapter 3. Chapter 3, and we're gonna read verse 6 real quick.
Okay. Book of Philippians.
We're gonna read 5 and 6. 5 and 6.
Philippians.
Yeah, Philippians chapter 3, verse 5 and 6.
Reading out the book of Philippians, chapter 3, starting at verse 5. Circumcised the 8th day.
This is Paul speaking. He don't know nothing about getting circumcised as a grown man. Circumcised the 8th day, right? Read.
Of the stock of Israel.
Of the stock of Israel,
Of the tribe of Benjamin.
And
Hebrew of the Hebrews. As touching the law, a Pharisee.
As touching the law, a Pharisee, right? Read on.
Concerning zeal, persecuting the church. Touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
Touching the righteousness in the law, blameless, right? They didn't know nothing about getting circumcised as a grown man. That's that yoke, right? So let's go back to Acts. Acts, and we're gonna read 15 verse 11.
Reading out the book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 11. But we believe that through the grace of Hamashiach Yahushua, we shall be saved.
That's that grace, right? That's what we believe in, that grace. Because I'm pretty sure every last one of us in this room right now was off we did something that was worthy of death, that there's no sacrifice for. You feel what I'm saying? That's the same thing that was going on in those churches. Those places was wicked. Galatia, Corinth, all these places was wicked. When you read these letters and see what they was dealing with, they came out of worshiping all type of idols and so on and so forth. And a lot of their idols deal with fertility, which dealt with temple prostitutes, prostitution. Yeah, in Rome, they was having issues with homosexuality creeping in the church. Yeah, yeah, to this day, right? There's something called synchronism that was going on. Actually, well, we're not gonna read that now. When y'all get a chance, look up Hellenism. Y'all can write this down. Hellenism in the Jewish Encyclopedia. Then it talks about what was going on in these churches. Right? There was synchronism where they was combining our laws along with Greek philosophy. I can't remember how to spell that. Is it sequence? Synchronism, yeah. But yeah, and it talks about how they was combining everything. Even when you look at the history, like for instance, with the Sadducees, right? The Sadducees come from the sons of Zadok, the priests. The what they was doing in this time during Yahweh's time was not what their ancestors was doing. What they believed was not what they was doing. They was getting that from, it was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a specific Greek philosophy that crept in there, that took hold, and we see that all through Israel. All through Israel, you had Stoicism and Epicureanism. That's right. And Sadducees started following after Epicureanism. Right. After the Maccabees, right. When that during that 100+ years of us being Hellenized. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so we can keep on reading on.
We shall be saved even as they.
Actually, I was saying look up Hellenism in the Jewish Encyclopedia. Right, but keep on reading out.
Verse 12. Then all the multitude kept silence and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring what miracles and wonder the Most High had wrought among the Gentiles.
So they like, all right, let's see what's going on. If they really dealing with them, right? Let us know what's going on over there. Read on.
By them. And after they had held a peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simeon had declared how the Most High at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name. And to this agree the words of the prophets, as it is written, After this I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up.
Everybody know what he's quoting right here? Huh? Say that again? Yeah, but what scripture is he quoting right here? Yeah, you know what scripture that is? Nah, well, he's quoting Amos chapter 9. He's quoting Amos chapter 9, but what he's quoting actually, and it shows too that the Greek Septuagint was getting circulating around in Palestine at the time, because he quoted it from the Greek Septuagint. Right, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Masoretic text, and the Sumerian Pentateuch don't say that. Right, it don't say that in there. It says it differently. Right, Amos 9 and 8. Amos 9, verse 12, 11 and 12, real quick. Which are called by my name, saith the Most High that does this. When Israel get raised up, all the heathen will be a possession to Israel. That's what that's actually saying, right? But let's keep on reading though in Acts.
Acts chapter 15, verse 17. That the residue of men might seek after the Most High.
Right, read on.
And all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Most High. Who doeth all these things.
Right.
Known unto the Most High are all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble.
So this is James' sentence, right? Because James was the head of the church at the time. He said, this is my sentence, right? Read.
Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them, which from among the Gentiles are turned to the Most High.
We're not gonna trouble them. That's gonna trouble somebody. Grown man, you tell them, yo, you gotta get. As soon as they come in, yeah, you gotta get circumcised. That's gonna trouble them. They not gonna come back, right? But let's read on.
Verse 20. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood.
This is how we do now. We out there teaching. We don't give everybody everything. You don't tell them they gotta do everything. You give them little certain things. We start off with the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to do that back then. Everybody knew Israelites kept the Sabbath. You feel what I'm saying? But he started them off with what they was dealing with, right? He said what he started them off with?
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols.
They abstain from pollution of idols. Everywhere you went. Huh? Idols everywhere. Everywhere. Every market in all these places. When y'all actually look up the maps of these places, Corinth, Athens, all these places, right behind the market is a temple. And a lot of times they bought their meats that they sacrificed from temples into the markets and sold it. This is why Paul had to say, don't ask no questions when you go into the markets, when you go to the shambles. Because not all of it was idols, stuff sacrificed to idols, but there was stuff that was sacrificed to idols in there. Yeah, right. There you go. Right. And it's once we get into the history, we gotta deal with context. Everybody know what context is, right? How you get the context, right? Context, you got to know what was going on at the time, who, what, when, where, and why. That's how you get the context. That's how we know what he's dealing with. You feel what I'm saying? But let's keep on reading on.
That they abstain from pollution of idols and from fornication.
And from fornication. Again, temple prostitutes was heavy in all these places. You go to Rome, they was having orgies right in the middle of the street. It was common in Greece, common for a man to have a little boy toy. That wasn't looked down upon. They had give me a quick sec. In whatchamacallit, Pompeii, they had statues. They even do that now. You look at Greek god Pan and what was his? It was Pan in Rome. But yeah, all that, like having sex with animals and all that stuff. This is what they was doing. You was gonna say something? Yeah. That was common. All that stuff was common to them. Degenerates.
That word mentor is also in Greek philosophy. It has something to do like one of the Greek gods
with the half bull, half bull, half man.
Yeah, con.
The Minotaur.
Yeah, mentor. Yeah.
Yeah, but you keep on reading though.
And from fornication.
And from
things strangled. And from blood.
How many of our people eat blood now? There was a time we always got our food well done. While I'm seeing a whole bunch of brothers and sisters getting bloody steaks now. What's going on? We know we in Greece. Huh? Blood pudding? Oh man. That's crazy. That's madness. What's up, Bob?
Quick piece up, yeah. This is okay. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 35, verse 2. Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean and change your garments.
This is what we need to do. This is what our people needed to do then, and this is what they was pushing, letting them know. Get rid of those idols. Stay away from that fornication. Don't eat nothing strangled. Esau want to lay them traps and strangle their animals to death. You know what I'm saying? Don't eat the blood. Don't take a bite of that heart like they do. Fresh kill. What's up, Bob? We gonna get through this. Hold on. Hold that for the end. Right?
Come.
But let's read on.
Verse 21. For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him.
Y'all hear that? Read that again, and slowly.
Verse 21. For Moses of old time. I
want you to put emphasis on for.
For Moses of old time have in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Do y'all know what for means right there in Old English? What that mean right there? If we're gonna make this sentence more modern, we would change that for the one word. Because. He says because. He said, I'm gonna go back up, right? Real quick. It said, I'm gonna start at 20, right? But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols and from fornication and from things strangled and from blood, for or because Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day. This is not the only laws that they got to do. He's just saying they're gonna learn everything on the Sabbath day. Don't force it on them now. Every Sabbath day, these same people was going to the synagogues. This is why. So we see that they wasn't teaching against the Sabbath. You feel what I'm saying? You see Christians now, oh, you don't got to keep the Sabbath. No, they had them going to the synagogues every Sabbath day. He said, yo, don't worry about nothing. Tell them this right now because they're going to learn everything else when they go to the Sabbath, when they keep the Sabbath. Making sense, right? Let's read on.
Then please it the apostles and elders.
So everybody was happy with this. You got to keep in mind, Pharisees was here. There was many Pharisees that followed Yahweh Shah. Not all the Pharisees was bad. And Pharisees was very strict on the law. He said that it pleased them. Everybody was happy with this. The Pharisees heard this. They said, yeah, that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Then please it the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, surnamed Barsabbas.
Right, so they sending all these people, they sending them out to Antioch and so on, right, read?
And Silas, chief men among the brethren. And they wrote letters by them after this matter.
And this is why Paul was saying these things in his letters. Oh, it's raining? All right. Come. Read on.
The apostles and the elders and brethren send greetings unto the brethren, which are the Gentiles in Antioch and Syria.
You hear that, right? They sent greetings to their brethren, the Gentiles in Antioch. Their brethren, right? Read.
And Syria and Cilicia. For as much as we have heard that certain which went out from us have troubled you with words, subverting your soul, saying, ye must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom we gave no such commandment.
We didn't tell them that y'all, just tell y'all this. We didn't tell them that y'all got to get circumcised right away. We didn't tell them this, right? We didn't tell them that y'all couldn't get saved because y'all wasn't circumcised the 8th day. Right? Read on.
It seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul.
Right.
Men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yeah, they went through all type of hell for that word, to spread that word, right? For the gospel, right? Read on.
We have sent therefore Judas and Silas, who shall also tell you the same things by mouth.
Right. Read.
For it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us to lay upon you no greater burden than these necessary things.
Right. This is what you're gonna do first. We're gonna force nothing else on you right now. This is what y'all gonna do first. Right, read. And we keep it in mind too. You think about it. Everybody in here, right? When you come into this walk, we hear for certain things that we stop right away. You know what I mean? It's certain things you stop right away. Then after a while, if you come and you hearing certain things, like you gonna get convicted in your soul. You're like, yo, I gotta stop doing this. I gotta put this away. Right? This is the same thing that was going on. Right? But read on.
That ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, from which if ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well. Fare ye well.
Right.
So when they were dismissed, they came to Antioch. And when they had gathered the multitude together, they delivered the
epistle. The letter, right? When they gathered them, they delivered the letter. Read it out loud, right? Read on.
Which, when they had read, they rejoiced for the consolation. And Judas and Silas, being prophets, also themselves exhorted the brethren with many words, and confirmed them And after they had tarried their space, they were let go in peace from the brethren unto the apostles.
Right.
Notwithstanding, it pleased Silas to abide there still. Paul also and Barnabas continued in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Most High, with many others also.
Right, out there spreading that word, putting it in, putting that work in. Right. Let's read on.
And some days after, Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Most High, and see how they do.
Right.
And Barnabas determined to take with them John, whose surname was Mark.
Right.
But Paul thought not good to take him with them.
Yeah, that's something that happened earlier when they got stranded and Mark left, and Paul didn't like that. He said, "Nah, we don't need him right now." And you know they fell out because of that. But Mark later on proved himself to Paul, and they got real close. And Paul bigged him up. But yeah, keep on.
Who departed from them from Pamphylia, and went not with them to the work. And the contention was so sharp between them that they departed asunder one from the other. And so Barnabas took Mark and sailed unto Cyprus.
Right.
And Paul chose Silas and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of the Most High.
And you see this is two righteous brothers that couldn't get along. They was doing a work together. This is gonna happen. We're gonna see this. People gonna fall out. It happens. We gotta, it's happening all over the place, right? We just gotta fight hard to make sure that we keep that brotherhood. But this happens, right? You got two righteous brothers putting in that work, and they fell out. They fell out over somebody that Paul became real cool with later on, and said he was instrumental to the work. You feel what I'm saying? But let's read on.
And he went to Syria and Cilicia, confirming the churches.
Confirming the churches, right? Let's grab real quick 2 Peter. Yeah, we are almost done. 2 Peter chapter 3, and we're gonna read verse 15. And we want to keep these in mind. These next ones. What's up, brother? Right. Okay. Speak louder for us, brother.
Behold, I Paul say unto you that if you be circumcised, Yahweh shall profit you nothing. So I testify again to every man that is circumcised, that he is a debtor to the whole law.
Right.
So he was saying, like, if you get circumcised, now you have obligation to the whole law.
Here's the thing. It's how they put in their faith on the circumcision. That's what it is. It's not that if you actually right. And this is what was yeah, we got to keep the whole law regardless. We got to keep the whole law regardless. Here's the thing. It's impossible. Nah, that's because they wasn't circumcised the 8th day. That's what that was getting into. Here's the thing. We're going to read a couple of things real quick and get clear understanding on what Paul was saying, because we got to keep all the laws that's given to us. We have to. The Most High gave it to us. He meant for us to do it. He said, do this throughout your generations. That never changed. The thing is how they was looking at the circumcision and putting all their faith in the circumcision over Yahweh Shah. That was the problem with it. Let's read these real quick. Let's read that what I just had you get.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 15.
An
account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as beloved brother Paul also, according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you.
Right. His wisdom given unto you. Right. Read.
Verse 16, as also in all his epistles.
As in all his epistles, because we see through all his epistles, he's talking about these same things, right? Read on.
Speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
People misunderstood Paul, and they was even doing that back then. We see that because what was the reason why he got locked up? Everybody know why he got locked up? Nah, he didn't get locked up for persecuting the church. He got locked up for, they say he got locked up for teaching against the law and circumcision. But what does Paul say? We're going to read that. Because he says they can't prove that. You feel what I'm saying? Read on.
Speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood.
Some things that he wrote was hard to be understood. Paul was hard to be understood. Keep in mind, he's writing to a bunch of people that deal with Greek philosophy. He's trying to philosophize with them. You feel what I'm saying? And got a lot of people mixed up. Keep speaking these things are some things hard to be understood. That what?
Which are some things hard to be understood.
Uh-huh.
Which they are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures.
What would be the other scriptures? There was no New Testament at this time. They wrestling with the Old Testament. They wrestling with the law. They wrestling with the prophecies. So how Paul wrote confused the heck out of people. You feel what I'm saying? But what does Paul say? Let's get Paul's own words. We want to get Paul's own words. What you got?
Romans 7, verse 1.
Okay.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak unto them who know the law, how that the law hath dominion over man as long as he liveth. Right. The law has dominion over man as long as he lived. But we got to keep in mind, Yahweh Shah, we got to understand who our Savior was. We're not saved by the law, we're saved by Yahweh Shah. But while we seeking to be justified, this is Galatians 2:16. Let's grab that real quick, actually. Galatians 2:16.
Reading out the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 16. Knowing that a man is not just justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Hamashiach Yahushua, even we have believed in Hamashiach Yahushua, that we might be justified by the faith of Hamashiach.
So we are justified by Yahushua, having that faith. But keep on reading.
And not by the works of the law.
Not by the works of the law, but what? Because keep in mind, and then when he was talking to the Romans, he said, they're not the hearers of the Lord justified, but the doers shall be justified. Why is he saying this? Because they had different issues. Rome had the faith, lacked the law. Galatia had the law, lacked the faith. That's the issue, right? He wasn't how you say it, contradict himself, right? Let's read on though. Keep on reading.
For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified.
By the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. But read.
But if while we seek to be justified
while we're seeking to be justified by the blood of Christ, what?
To be justified by Hamashiach, we ourselves also are found sinners.
While we're trying to seek to be justified by Christ and we're found sinners, what?
Is therefore Hamashiach the minister of sin?
We're making Christ the minister of sin.
The power forbid.
God forbid. We're making Christ the minister of sin by doing that. We can't be found sinners while we seek to be justified by Christ. It's making sense? And what is sin? Everybody know what sin is. You know what I mean? Transgression of the law. Let's get Acts chapter 26. Get some more of Paul's words. Acts chapter 26, verse 22.
Acts. The book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 22. Having therefore obtained the help of the Most High, I continue on today, witnessing both the small and great, saying none other things.
Paul said nothing different than what the Old Testament said. Nothing different than what the Lord said, what the prophet said. Nothing different. They try to make it seem like he has this old different mystery and they didn't understand. He said, I ain't say nothing different than what the prophet said. None other things, right? Read on.
Saying none other things than those which the prophet and Moses did say should come.
Nothing different, right? Let's get Acts 24. 24. We're going to start at verse we'll start at verse 10.
Reading out the book of Acts chapter 24, verse 10. Then Paul, after that the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, for as much as I know that thou hast been of many years a judge unto this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself.
So he got caught. They caught him. They said, actually, you know what? Let's start up. Let's go back real quick to see what they was accusing him of, right? Let's go back to Acts chapter 21. And then we're going to go back to 24. We're going to read 21 first. Get the full understanding of what was going on at this time. We're going to get 21 chapter 21 verse 18.
Reading out the book of Acts chapter 21 verse 18. And the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present.
Right.
And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things the Most High had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry.
Keep this in mind too. He said what things had wrought amongst the Gentiles, right, by his ministry, right? Read on.
And when they heard it, they glorified the Most High and said unto him, thou seest, brother.
Y'all see its brother. How many what?
Thou seest, brother. How many thousands of Jews?
How many thousands of what?
How many thousands of Jews?
How many thousands of Jews?
There are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
Which believe and all zealous of the law. Y'all see what that means right there, right? He came and said what happened amongst the Gentiles, and they get happy and said, you see how many thousands of Jews? So these Gentiles is who? Jews. See how many thousands of Jews which believe in Yahweh Shah and are all zealous of the law. All zealous, they want to keep the law, right? Read on.
And they are informed of thee that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses.
This is what they've been told. This is what they think Paul is teaching. To forsake Moses. Right? Read.
Saying that they ought not to circumcise their children.
Saying that they ought not to circumcise their children. This is what they're being told. They think that Paul is saying, don't circumcise your children. Right? So what happens?
Neither to walk after their customs.
Right.
Verse 22. What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together.
For so James is saying, yo, we're gonna have to fix this, right? Read.
For they will hear that thou art come.
They're gonna know you here, right? Read.
Do therefore this.
He didn't even ask him, yo, is this true? Is this true? What is this? What does this say hearing? He didn't ask this. What he said, do this, what?
Do therefore this that we say to thee.
Uh-huh.
We have 4 men which have vow on them.
We know what vow this is. This goes into the Nazarite vow. And when you read Acts chapter 18, you see that Paul had one also. Paul had a Nazarite vow showing that he kept the law, because Nazarite vow, you only find that in the law. Right? Numbers chapter 6. Right? But read on.
Take them and purify thyself with them.
When you done with your Nazarite vow, you had to give up sacrifices. This is after Christ died. Keep in mind. James and the elders were telling Paul, yo, go take these men, because the temple was still standing, and give up sacrifices. So was we still sacrificing after Christ died? Yes. Yeah, we definitely was. The only reason we're not sacrificing now is because we don't have no standing temple. Right? Christ bought us back, but his blood is not going to, you can't keep on living off of his blood. You feel what I'm saying? You keep on sinning, that's on your rap sheet. Y'all got to keep that in mind. Right? But read on.
Take them and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them.
So he said, take them, go to the temple and purify yourselves. How you purify yourself? After the Nazarite vow, you give up sacrifice. Take them. He said, yo, pay for their sacrifices. We still had laws that we had to keep. You still had sacrifices for like this, the Nazarite vow, the Hebrew, the Sabbath days, so on and so forth. We had sacrifices just for the regular days. But Yahweh Shah's blood was to cover us for all our sins. But it lets you know in the scriptures of sins past. You feel what I'm saying? Those that willfully sin, his blood don't cover you. You feel what I'm saying? Right? But read on.
Take them and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them,
right?
That they may shave their heads.
That they may shave their heads, right? After you was done with that Nazarite vow, you couldn't put a razor to your head or to your face. When it's over, you had to shave your head, right, and give up them sacrifices, right? Purify yourself, right? Read on.
And all may know that those things.
And all may know that what?
That those things. Whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing.
Are nothing. But what?
But that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepeth the law.
So showing what? Paul wasn't teaching against the circumcision. Paul wasn't teaching against the law.
Right.
They just misunderstood what he was saying. He said, yo, do this. And when you do this in front of everybody, they're going to know like, yo, what they heard was nothing. Don't worry about it. Right? Read on.
What was up to 25, Chalaq. As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangle, and from fornication.
The same thing they told them in Acts 15 of the Council of Jerusalem. He reiterating the same thing. All those brothers that's new to this is what we tell them to do. But you yourself, we know that you walk orderly and you keep the law and you're not teaching against it. Right? Read on.
Verse 26, then Paul took the men, and the next day...
If Paul was a real righteous man, right? Really stand by what he believed. If he was teaching that, why would he even take these men to do that? Like, what are you talking about? Sacrifice? Yahweh Shah was the only sacrifice. Why would he take them? You feel what I'm saying? Like, James, you bugging now. We're not doing that. But he took these men to the temple, right? Read on.
Then Paul took the men, and the next day purified himself with them, entered into the temple to signify the accomplishment of the days of purification.
Right. He took them to the temple to signify the accomplishment of that vow. Right. Read on.
Until that an offering shall be offered for every one of them.
Right. Read on.
And when the 7 days were almost
ended, you've seen that, right? An offering to be offered up for every one of them. That's a sacrifice. Right. Read on.
The Jews which were of Asia, when they saw him in the temple, stirred up all the people and laid hands on him, crying out, Men of Israel, help! This is the man that teacheth all men everywhere against the people and the law. And this place, and further brought Greeks also to the temple, and have polluted this holy place. Right.
So they saying, oh, this man is teaching against the law. We seen what James said earlier. They heard that you teaching against circumcision, so on and so forth, which is part of the law. This is what they think he's teaching, right? Read on.
Verse 29, for they had seen before with him in the city Trophimus, an Ephesian, whom they supposed that Paul had brought into the temple.
Right. They suppose he brought somebody into the temple, which he didn't, right? But let's jump. We're gonna jump to Acts 24, right? Because all this, and this is a good, y'all should go through Acts and see, Acts is official. And it gives you much clearer understanding of what Paul's epistles is going into, where he was going, what he was talking about, what he was dealing with. So we see he getting charged with not keeping the law, teaching people against the law, teaching the people against circumcision, teaching people against the temple, so on and so forth. This is what he's charged with, right? What does Paul say, right? Let's get to Acts chapter 24. And we're going to start at verse 10.
We're in the book of Acts chapter 24, verse 10. Then Paul, after that the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, for as much as I know that thou hast been of many years a judge unto this nation.
Acts chapter 24, verse 10. And you can read that again, huh?
Acts chapter 24, verse 10. Then Paul, after that, the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, For as much as I know that thou hast been of many years a judge unto this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself.
Because the whole time he wasn't really able to speak for himself like that. Now he able to speak to this ruler for himself, right? Read on.
Because that thou mayest understand that they are yet but 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem.
So it's been 12 days he been locked up. You feel what I'm saying? He said, since I came up to Jerusalem, right? To what?
Since I went up to Jerusalem for to worship.
To worship. He came for the feast. We gotta keep this stuff in mind. There was many times he did his work on the road, but there's times where he said, I must by all means keep this feast which is in Jerusalem. That's the law. So we got to try. If we can make it to Jerusalem, and again, if you can't make it, so be it. You can't make it. You feel what I'm saying? But if you could make it, you should be there. I must by all means keep this feast in Jerusalem. So he said, yo, it's been 12 days. It's been 12 days since I came up to worship, right? Read.
And they neither found me in the temple disputing with any man.
So I wasn't in there arguing with nobody. The whole reason he was there was to give up offerings. Give up offerings, right? Read on.
Neither raising up the people.
Neither
in the synagogues, nor in the city.
Nor in the city, right? Read.
Neither can they prove the things whereof they now accuse me.
Neither can they what?
Neither can they prove the things whereof they now accuse me.
They was accusing him of teaching against circumcision, teaching against the law, right? He said they can't prove the things they accuse me. This man got stoned for the gospel. You telling me he gonna lie here? He's gonna lie to save his life? Not at all. This man went through all type of hell. He was thrown in prison. All type of stuff happened to Paul for this gospel. He got right up and kept on doing the work. You know he not lying here. If he was teaching against that, he should stand strong on that. Yo, I was doing that. You feel what I'm saying? But let's keep on.
Verse 14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I be the power of my Father.
He says, the way they call heresy, so worship I the power of my Father. What?
Believing all things.
Believing all things that are written. Right? Read.
Which are written in the law and in the prophets.
Which is written in the law and in the prophets. He believed all things written in the law and prophets. Right? We're going to grab something that's written in the law and prophets real soon, right? But we're going to jump down. Right? Jump down to chapter 25.
Reading out the book of Acts, chapter 24,
and
verse 25.
Chapter 25. We're going to start at verse 8.
Sorry. Reading out the book of Acts, chapter 25, verse 8.
Still Paul speaking on the situation, right? Read.
While he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews.
Neither against the law of the Jews, right? Read.
Neither against the temple.
Nor
yet against Caesar have I offended anything at all.
I didn't go against not one of those things. I didn't offend nothing. Right? I'm here for no reason. They're lying on me. Right? Read.
But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, Wilt thou go up to Jerusalem, and there be judged of these things before me? Then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat.
I stand at Caesar's judgment seat. He didn't want to go to Jerusalem. What he says, why? Why does he say? Because this is powerful right here. Right? Read.
Where I ought to be judged.
Where I ought to be judged. Right? Read.
To the Jews have I done no wrong.
To the Jews I have done no wrong. He said, I ain't teaching against no laws. Right? To the Jews I've done no wrong. Right? Read.
As thou very well knowest.
As thou very well knowest. Read.
For if I be an offender or have committed anything worthy of death, I refuse not to die.
If I did do this, I refuse not to die. Y'all could take my life right now. I refuse not to die, right? But what?
But if there be none of these things thereof, these accuse me, no man may deliver me unto No man may deliver me unto them. I appeal unto Caesar.
Nobody is going to deliver me unto them because I didn't do what they saying I'm doing. Right? This is what was the issue with a lot of Paul's letters. They misunderstood his letters. You feel what I'm saying? We're going to grab one more thing too, because we know that the Most High's word stands strong. We take that before anything else. Right? Let's get Ezekiel. Future prophecy. Ezekiel chapter 44. Ezekiel chapter 44. Now, everybody, if you don't know, when you read in Ezekiel from chapter 40 all the way to the end, is dealing with the kingdom. Right? So go back and read that, right? So we're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 44. And we're going to read, let's start at verse 6.
Reading out the book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 6. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus say the Most High, thy power, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you. Let it suffice you of all your abominations.
Abomination, a filthy, wicked thing that the Most High hates, extreme disgust. An extreme disgust of the Most High, right? He said, let it suffice you of all your abominations. You are called us a rebellious house. Right? Read on.
Heard that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers.
He said, you brought into my sanctuary strangers. Read.
Uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh.
A lot of people think that Paul is the first one that came up with the circumcision of the heart. First time you read about that is in the law of Moses. Moses talked about the circumcision of the heart. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the Old Testament, you're not going to understand anything Paul says. Right? He says, the Most High is saying, this is an abomination that you have brought into his sanctuary, strangers uncircumcised in the heart and uncircumcised in flesh. That's an abomination to the Most High. And we know the Most High don't change. Right? Read.
Sorry.
Read 7 again.
In that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary to pollute it.
Most High said that pollutes it, right? Read.
Even my house, when ye offered my bread, the fat and the blood,
right?
And they have broken my covenant.
This is breaking the covenant of the Most High, right? Read.
They have broken my covenant because of all your abominations.
Because of all our abominations, the things that the Most High look at as wicked. Right? Let's keep on reading.
And ye have not kept the charge of mine holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourself.
People have put people over them that they wanted. That's why you got people like Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar. How did man name himself Dollar? TD Snakes, right? Pastor Pork Chop and Reverend Give Me Bucks. This is why you got these people, right? Let's read on. Got him over there dancing on money. I seen him throw money all over. Money! Dancing. That's crazy. Madness. But this is what people like. Right? Let's read on.
Thus said the Most High our power. No stranger uncircumcised in heart. No,
this is talking about the future temple. This is a future temple. Yeah. It says no stranger, what?
No stranger uncircumcised in heart. No uncircumcised in flesh.
No uncircumcised in heart, meaning you don't care about the law, you don't care about the Most High, you're not doing it. You're not taking it seriously, right? Uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in what?
Shall enter into my sanctuary.
Read that again, Read now and again.
Thus said the Most High of power, no stranger uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel.
That's thus saith the Most High. That's thus saith the Most High. So we could get it done. We should get it done. We should get it done. If you can't get it done, you know, probably get it done in the whatchamacallit, when we get into the wilderness with a stone, a knife or something. Yeah, ain't no numbing then. He ain't putting you to sleep then. But you know what I mean? But we not putting all our faith in the flesh though. That's what it comes to out to be. The whole thing was people was teaching against, us making it because it started off saying that if you wasn't circumcised the 8th day, you're not going to be saved. That's how it all started off. You feel what I'm saying? And he like, nah, that's what Yahweh Shah is here for. Because even though we broke that, and again, it's not literally us that broke that. It was our parents that broke that. You feel what I'm saying? How many of us could actually say we were circumcised the 8th day? Let's be real. I don't think I was. You circumcised the 8th day? I know I was circumcised. I don't know what day it was. I don't know what day it was. I know most doctors, they don't do the 8th day. They'll give the child a vitamin K shot to boost that vitamin K and then do it. They'll probably do it the 3rd, 4th day, 5th day. You feel what I'm saying? So 2nd and 3rd day, right? You say you was the 8th day? Call hallelujah. That's a great thing for y'all. I hope I was the 8th day. I don't know. I can't say, but still, we had Yahweh Shah's death for that. Yahweh Shah's blood covered that. But we also want to keep in mind, I'm gonna go in a couple more things before we even leave. Just to keep in mind, because why the Yahweh? Right? Let's get we're gonna get Romans. We're gonna get Romans chapter 7. Is it 7 I want? No, it's not. We're gonna get Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3 and verse 24.
Reading.
Actually, let's start at 23. Let's start at 23.
Reading out the book of Romans.
And come short of the glory of the Most High. We all got something on us that's worthy of death. We all came short of the glory of the Most High. This is why we need Yahweh Shah. We can't glory in the flesh. We can't do that. If you got something that you got on you that you were supposed to be put to death for, you cannot glory in the flesh. You feel what I'm saying? We need Yahweh Shah. Right? Let's read on.
But being justified freely by his grace.
We are justified freely by his grace. It's nothing we did to deserve this at all. It was just the Most High showing us mercy and said, come with me. You feel what I'm saying? That's why we here. Right? We got to give praise to the Most High for that. Right? Let's read on.
Being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right, read.
Whom the Most High has set forth to be a propitiation.
A propitiation means to be something that it appeases a God. Something that appeases a God. So his sacrifice was to please the Most High, basically. Right? He set him off to be a pure sacrifice to please the Most High. Right? Read. Read on. Read 25 again. Huh?
Whom the Most High set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remissions of sins that are past.
Sins that are past. That are past. We got to keep this in mind. Christians try to use Christ's blood as a continual sin. They could do whatever they want, and his blood keep covering them. No, his blood covers sins past. All the stuff you did in the past, that's what it covers and brings us to the Most High. After that, it's over for you. You better make sure you keep on doing right, because everything else is on your rap sheet. You just got a presidential pardon. You better not start getting locked up again. Basically, you feel what I'm saying? If that's making sense to everybody, right? Let's keep on reading.
To the forbearance of my power.
Was through the forbearance of the Most High. And let's grab Hebrews chapter 10. Hebrews chapter 10, we're going to start at verse 26. We got to keep this in mind. Christ's blood covers sins past. Sins past. It's not no, what's up? It means something that appeases a god. Appease a god, make the god happy, makes any deity happy, basically. Right?
The book of Hebrews.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26.
Reading out the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully,
keep this in mind. If we sin willfully, if you know you're not supposed to be doing something, you still do it, then what? Read.
For if we sin willfully, after that, we have received the knowledge of the truth.
After you receive the knowledge, you know something is wrong. You know you're not supposed to eat pork, but Dad, you just got to get that bacon, egg, and cheese. You know what I mean? You just said them pork chops sounding good to you. That Sunday ham that your grandmother making. You know what I mean? Scrimp scampi, because a lot of crab legs, especially our sisters love them crab legs. You feel what I'm saying? You said sisters in the world, not in the truth, in the world. A whole lot of sisters, they go crazy over crab legs. You know what I mean? What's up?
Can't see the Most High, but they breathe his eggs and the waters and the dirt.
Right?
Can't see him, nothing will happen.
Yeah, that they do be feeling like that. They fear, a lot of people fear what they'll fear their boss. They'll fear their boss. Somebody that they work for, they don't fear the Most High. They'll fear everybody, fear the police, not the Most High.
Guess what? What you just said, right? The boss, for the most part, the boss Edomite, they know. You know about this.
Yeah.
All them, they know about it.
Right? But yeah, you keep on reading out.
There remain no more sacrifice for sins.
Read 26 again.
For if we sin willfully, after that, we have received the knowledge of the truth. There remain no more sacrifice for sins.
Christ's blood is not covering that. You did it on purpose. You know you wasn't supposed to be doing it. Christ's blood is not covering that. That sacrifice do not cover that at all. It's all your past sins. Y'all got to keep this in mind. I see people thinking deep right now. Make sure y'all keep that in y'all minds. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want to add sin to sin. You feel what I'm saying? We got to get out of jail free card. You know what I mean? We want to make use of that. We don't want to find ourselves back getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. Right? Let's read on though.
Verse 27, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation.
Fiery indignation. Right? That's what you got to look forward to. If you sin willfully, that's what you got to look forward to. Not the kingdom. Fiery indignation. Judgment. Right? Read.
Which shall devour the adversaries.
Which shall devour the adversaries. Because if you willfully sin, and you're an adversary to the Most High. Right? Read on.
He that despises Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses.
Those that despise the law of Moses died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Oh, you needed two witnesses. That's it. 2 people say, yo, I seen them do it, and you getting stoned to death. Anybody ever seen a stoning? That ain't nothing light. That's crazy. Yeah, look that up, because it gets gruesome. You know what I'm saying? Brains all out, and they still moving. Yo. Yeah, it's crazy. When y'all get a chance, look it up and look at the stonings. This is the reason why the Most High had us stone people in front of the whole congregation. So you could see that and be like, I don't want that. The kids say, hold on, what he did? Nah, I ain't doing that. You feel what I'm saying? Make an example. Right. It get crazy. Some of them don't even be like that. They just start throwing stones at them. You see them drop. They just twitching and all. It's crazy. Huh?
There ain't no stones. Them things are rock.
Yeah, boulders. It's boulders. They not playing. Everybody should look at that and see how it is, right? But let's keep on reading though. We're gonna keep on reading.
All right, come on. Verse 29. Of how much sore punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy?
How much sorer, how much worse Keep this in mind. How much worse should your punishment be? How much worse are you worthy of punishment? If what?
Shall he be taught worthy, who have taught under the foot of the Son of the Most High, and have counted the blood of the covenant, wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing.
You counting the blood of the covenant as an unholy thing. When you sit there and continue to live a life of sin, you stepping all over that blood. You died without mercy under Moses' law, stoned to death. How much worse should your punishment be? Again, watch your stoning and try to picture what would be worse than that. How much worse should your punishment be? You're not taking Yahweh's death serious. You counted the blood of the covenant an unholy thing. You supposed a holy thing, you gotta take that and cherish it. You willfully sinning, you don't cherish it. It's like it's nothing. You stepping all over that. Right, Reed?
And have done despite unto the spirit of grace.
That does despite the spirit of grace. They talking about I'm under grace. We don't gotta keep the law. I'm under grace. By you breaking the law, you going against the spirit of grace. They don't read stuff like this though. They don't read this. It's not in their Bible. I don't know what they reading. Yeah, one save all. That's madness, right? But let's keep on reading, huh?
For we know him that have said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith the Most High.
Right.
And again, the Most High shall judge his people.
Right.
It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power.
Fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. That's scary. Fearful thing. Right? We're going to grab one more. Let's get on Hebrews chapter 6. Hebrews chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 4.
Hebrews chapter 6, verse 3.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened.
It says, for it's impossible. It's extremely hard for those that was once enlightened. Come into this truth. Understand what they supposed to be doing. So what?
For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have taste of the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Holy Spirit.
Made partakers of the Holy Spirit, right? What happened? Read on.
And have tasted the good word of the Most High and the power of the world to come.
Right.
If they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance.
If they fall away, to renew them again to repentance, they have to do what?
Seeing they crucify to themselves the Son of the Most High afresh.
You crucifying Christ all over again. And doing what?
And put him to an open shame.
Put him to open shame. Y'all got to think about that. Keep that in your minds. With that, I give all praise to the Most High. Yeah.
Read out Titus chapter 3, verse 3. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish.
Right. That's all of us.
Disobedient. Deceived. Serving diverse lusts and pleasures.
Right.
Living in malice. And envy.
Right.
Hateful. And hating one another. But after that, the kindness and love of our power, Hamashiach, towards man appeared. Not by works of righteousness,
right,
which we have done, but according to his mercy.
According to his mercy.
By the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit.
I know I was every last one of those things he said. We was all those things. Wicked. You feel what I'm saying? But not because of what we did, the Most High showed mercy on us and sent his son. We didn't do nothing to deserve that. That's the beauty about it. Why would we take advantage of that and you know, step all over that blood? Somebody show you that much love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but with that, what's up, Bob? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
in the book of Galatians, chapter 2, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
I am crucified with Christ Mashiach.
Uh-huh.
Nevertheless, I live.
Right.
Yet not I, but a Mashiach living in me.
Uh-huh.
Now the life which I live in the flesh,
Uh-huh.
I live by the faith of the Son of Yahweh.
Right.
Omnipotent power, who loved me and gave himself for me.
Right. So we gotta get rid of that old man, that old life, and become a new creature. We supposed to die right along with Yahweh Shah and become a new creature, fresh, and stay pure after that. Right? But yeah, with that, I give all praises to the Most High. Ashar Shabbat. Everybody stick around. We're gonna eat later. It's still raining out. But the water, everybody for listening.
Good. Good.